And you are looking live at Sold Out Giants Stadium, where today the 16-0 New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Seattle Seahawks. Why Seattle Seahawks 0-16? Because they suck. And welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Or anybody spends any time at all watching the replay of this, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys absolutely rock. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes as I usually try to do every night. Anybody got to say anything at all? Just throw in the chat box. I check on the chat box every so often, so any comment that usually goes in there, I usually respond to. Okay, maybe not right away, but as soon as I check on the chat box, I see a comment in there. I try to respond to it. Before we get started, anybody wants to help me support my channel, I would greatly appreciate it so much. I got 3 different membership levels. First one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks and everything. There's loyalty badges, which are pretty cool. There's 8 different loyalty badges. Each one's like a different helmet from the Giants from the past. The older the helmet is, the longer you've been sponsoring my channel or supporting my channel. There's also some emojis. I got 4 emojis right now. They're pretty cool looking. There's going to be a 5th one coming out real soon. So anybody want to help support my channel, I would greatly appreciate it so much. It would mean so much to me. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, just click the subscribe button down below and hit the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put out a video, whatever, you'll be notified. And then finally, in the description box below, there's I have a Facebook group and a page. Okay, the Facebook group is called, oddly enough, it's called the Gridiron. Okay, and right now we have we have over 1,800 members in there. So if you want to, become a member, please feel free. Click on the link and become a member of the Giants, the Gridiron. I put new stuff in there every day. Usually every day is like 4 or 5 different things going in there, without a doubt. And then also in the description box, there's a link to a page that I have. It's called, oddly enough, called the Gridiron. I got 257 people who like it and 301 people following it. So if you want to click on that link and like and follow the page as well, that would be absolutely fantastic. I said the same thing there. I usually put 4 to 5, maybe even more, posts and everything in there every day. So there's always new stuff going in the page and in the group and everything like that. All right, so with that out of the way, let's we got a game tomorrow. Late game though. I'm used to these 1 o'clock games, but tomorrow, since it's out there on the left coast, all right, it's gonna be I believe it's the 4:25 game, late game, right? So the late game, right? So, but Joshua Ezeudu, all right, he's getting ready for his second chance. He's filling in for Ben Bredeson, all right, who just, I believe, was put on the injured reserve. I didn't think he was going to be going on the IR, but apparently they put him on the IR. I got some got some more updates here on that, so I'll be going over that in a minute. But Mr. Ezeudu, all right, we got this article. I got an article from Big Blue View. Josh Ezeudu came up short earlier this season in his first effort to win the starting left job for the Giants. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like with him and Shane Lemieux. And then, of course, Shane Lemieux hurt his foot. I thought it was a toe, but he's been out. I don't even know if he's even going to be playing this year. But then, of course, then it was between Ezeudu and Bredeson. I bet, it's Ezeudu's first shot. I mean, he's just out of college. Bredeson actually played for the Giants last year. Started for the Giants, but surprise, surprise, he was hurt. He hurt his hand, and he missed quite a few games with his hand. Well, now he's got a problem with his knee. And he's going to miss some time with his knee. But, he's basically, Ezeudu is, right out of college, and he's trying to beat out a veteran, player. And, Bredeson wound up beating him out. Now, there's also, if we go here, all right, look at Ezeudu. I mean, he played in a few games now, and they're going to go. They have it in the article. Okay, basically in the first game of the season, Bredeson and Ezeudu both played about the same amount of snaps. Okay, but that changed significantly the next week. But the first game of the season against the Titans. All right, basically. It's in the article. Bredeson, I think, had 30-something snaps. Ezeudu had 29. Okay, so they were just trying to feel it out, who's going to do better and all and everything. Well, Ezeudu, his pass blocking grade. Let's see. Blocking. Oh, wait. Hold on. I got blocking. Why do I got blocking in there? That's according to PFF. Here we go. There we go. 29 snaps. He had 11 pass block. He was in there for 11 pass blocks. 18 run blocks. Okay. His run blocking wasn't too bad, 65.6. All right. So in the 18 run blocks, I mean, one of the reasons why the Giants had a very good, successful day running the ball against the Titans. But however, in his 11 pass blocking attempts, he graded out at a 0. Okay. You can't get any worse than that. A 0. Okay. Had a rough day. The next week against Carolina, okay, his snaps went down from 29 down to 17, okay? But it kind of flipped a little bit. His pass blocking grade went up to a 72, okay? But his run blocking grade went from a 65 down to a 30, okay? So actually against Carolina, according to Pro Football Focus, that's all I'm going by here, okay? His overall offensive grade against the Titans was a 50. Okay, yeah. But his pass block grade was a 0. But his overall grade against Carolina in those 17 snaps overall was a 22.3. Okay, so not very impressive at all. Now, however, against Jacksonville, okay, last week he wound up going in there, because Bredeson was hurt, right? He went in there. He had 60 snaps, 29 on the pass blocking and 31 on the run blocking. So just about 50-50. Okay. That's the Giants, split the stuff up quite a bit. They certainly like to run the ball. But in those 60 snaps, he graded out overall at a 58.6, 64.7 pass blocking grade, 63 run blocking grade. So he, did very, very well. And the Jaguars have a nice defensive front. So all in all, he did very, very well. Him and Tyree Phillips that were in there in the game, okay, when in that fourth quarter when the Giants just started taking over with the run game. Okay, so let's hope he can continue. That would be freaking fantastic, okay, if he can keep this up. Now, don't forget about Ezeudu's versatility. I think pretty much anywhere but center. You could put the guy anywhere at either guard or either tackle, okay? But pretty much this year, all he's played has been left guard. All right. So, as time goes by, maybe not so much, maybe not this season, but maybe next year, maybe, since he is a Shane/Dable guy, okay, they drafted him, all right? They drafted him for a reason. He's one of the guys they wanted to build a team with, okay? And hopefully Marcus McKeithen can come back next year as well, too, all right? But Ezeudu is one of the guys they want to build a team with. All right. So look for, him maybe to get a little more on his plate next year. Maybe, so we got the left guard this year, maybe try him out at somewhere else. I have to wait and see, who's left on the roster. Do they keep Feliciano? I just have to want to wait and see. Okay. But so far, again, the last week against Jacksonville, he did a very nice job for his first start. Well, that wasn't his first start. But, he played it. Let's see here. What do we got? 46, 54. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. He played in 5 games before last week. Okay. In those 5 games that he played in, he played a grand total of 59 snaps. Last week, in the one game, he played 60 snaps. Okay. So overall, and in like half of what he's done so far this year has been 60 snaps. The biggest amount has been 60 snaps in the game against Jacksonville. He we're not talking, Hall of Fame, all pro numbers and not like that, but reasonably well. You can't complain at all. Okay, especially for he's just a rookie. Okay. And hopefully, the more reps he gets, more time, more different players he sees and this, that, and the other thing, he's only going to get better and better in time. So hopefully, certainly somebody we want to keep on this roster, hopefully for the long haul, especially because he's as versatile as he is. All right. He was a very good draft pick. Very, very good draft pick. It says, with the expected start of Shane Lemieux, toe and a foot, on IR. Be nice someday they actually get him off IR, but who knows? Dable said he may not even be able to play this season. It's unbelievable. Ezeudu and Bredeson began the season splitting snaps at that spot. Week 1, Bredeson had 32 snaps. Ezeudu had the 28. Week 2, Bredeson played 56 snaps, and Ezeudu clearly losing ground in the competition, played just 17. In week 3, Bredeson took over the job full time. But Ezeudu did not sulk. He understood why Bredeson was playing and why he was not. I felt even myself I wasn't ready yet. I was still overthinking, still trying just to do certain stuff that I couldn't do, all because I was overthinking. And that's one of the things. The more you can just go out there and just play the game, the better it is, the easier it gets. The more thinking, because especially the game is so fast. You start thinking, boy, you can forget about it. You're trying to pass block or something like that, and you got some guy coming at you and putting in a rush on you, and you're like, oh, man, he's doing this move. What should I do there? Oh, I got to do this. And before you know it, the guy's blowing right past you. He's right at the quarterback. So the less you can think out there, the better. The more you can just react, So that's only going to come in time. All right. And a lot of it's got to be the speed of the game, too, because, where he came from, in college, of course, he saw some decent players, but now he's seeing the elite of the elite every week. And that's a whole new ball game. All right. So it'll come to him in time. Said Ezeudu said he felt way different this time, meaning against Jacksonville. I will say I'm just more confident. I'm more controlled. I just feel better about it, Ezeudu said, because I'm doing certain things. I've been practicing certain things, and I've been seeing it at work too. So if it works, then just keep on doing it. Ezeudu said adjusting to the speed of the NFL defensive lineman was his biggest adjustment. Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah. It's now every week you're playing against Alabama. Every week, or Clemson, whoever you want to pick. Every week, right? There's no Chuck E. Cheese State University they're going up against. You know what I'm saying? No, every week it's Alabama, right? He said, in my head, I was busy thinking I was playing against faster and bigger, stronger people. So you have to speed up, he said, when in a sense you just have to be more efficient, which is true. Anything wasted motion out there, you're killing yourself. You got to be more efficient. Everything you do has got to be efficient, right? It has to be for a purpose, has to be for a reason, right? And if you can start wiping out a lot of excessive motion and movement and hand, all of that, the better it's going to make for you, especially because you start doing an extra move or this or that before you know, said the guy's got you beat, right? Whether it's a pass block or a run block, the guy's got you beat. Let's see. Pro Focus liked Ezeudu's Week 7 work, but in Week 2, Ezeudu scored a miserable 22.3 grade against the Jaguars. He posted an acceptable, though not perfect, 58.6. But I'll take 58.6 over 22.3 anytime. It says with Bredeson out Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks and likely for the next few weeks, Lemieux still on IR and Nick Gates just returning to action. Ezeudu has the opportunity to grab the job. So it'd be interesting to see also, if they put a little Nick Gates in there as well too, or if they go big, they put 6 offensive linemen in there. Is Gates in there? If just to get, put Gates in there for a series or maybe two series, give him 10, 15 plays or whatever like that, just to get his feet back under him. It's going to take a while. I'm sure he might be in somewhat shape, but to go out there and play a full game, forget about it. He'll be on a pitch count, but it'd be interesting to see after the game's over and see how many snaps Gates wound up with. But I'll be pulling for Ezeudu. Nothing I love more than getting a draft pick, and of course you like the first and second rounders, right? Absolutely. But it's so important to hit on those picks. Obviously you're never going to hit on all the picks, but if you can get some guy from the 3rd to the 7th round each year, if you can get like 2 of those guys, to be, I mean, that's huge. I mean, if you get hit, you got a hit on your first and second rounders, right? But I'm saying if you can get a hit on like a third rounder and a fifth rounder, so if you've got like 4 good guys every year, that means like every 5 years you get, it's 20 guys. You almost turn your roster over every 5 years because you got your draft picks, right? So huge. All right, so now the guys who are out, final injury report. Okay, Daniel Bellinger with his eye. Okay, he's going to be out for a little bit. I got a article on him as well, too. But he had successful eye surgery, all right, thankfully. Ben Bredeson with his knee, Cordell Flott with his calf. Hopefully, maybe we'll get Cordell Flott back maybe after the bye week. That would be fantastic because we can certainly use some help in the secondary. Kenny Golladay with his knee. Now, Kenny Golladay is the kind of same thing. He's kind of hoping to come back maybe against Houston, which would be freaking huge. We can use all the help we can use. Wide receiver, unless we're going to trade for one before the draft, the trade deadline, okay? But we can certainly use him back, and hopefully the Giants can find some way to get him involved in the offense, some way, Evan Neal is going to be out with his knee, and Oshane Ximines, once again, is out with his quad. Now, hopefully, right, as I said, I mean, after the bye weeks, we have a couple more weeks off, all right, hopefully we get Ximines back. Maybe we get Cordell Flott back. Maybe we get Kenny Golladay back, right? I don't know about Evan Neal. Ben Bredeson, no. Daniel Bellinger, no. So, but I mean, hopefully we get a few of these guys back. That would be huge, right? Then questionable, we got Tyree Phillips with his toe, Jason Pinnock with his foot, and then Leonard Williams with his elbow. Leonard Williams, unless they cut his arm off, that guy's playing. So don't worry about him. Now, with the Seahawks, I mean, they had a bunch of guys who were kind of held out of practice and all, but once again, for the 337,000th game in a row, the Giants have more guys out than their opponent, okay? The Giants have 6 guys out. Seahawks have 1, okay? Shocking, I know. The opponent has far fewer injuries than the Giants do. The Seahawks have Nick Bellore, linebacker, out with a concussion, okay? But they have a bunch of guys who are questionable. The Giants have 3 guys questionable. Okay, the Seahawks have 7. And the Giants have nobody doubtful. Penny Hart, the wide receiver with a hamstring, he's doubtful. Okay, doesn't mean he won't play. But when you're doubtful, there's obviously I'm going to say like a 90% chance you're not playing. Okay, now questionable. Okay, DK Metcalf, all right, with a knee. Now, whether he plays or not, it's dinged up. All right, so he won't be, regardless, he won't be 100%, but even a DK Metcalf at 80% is still a freaking stud out there, okay? So be interesting to see if he winds up playing or if he winds up hurting himself again or whatever. But, they got Penny Harder's out, all right, but DK Metcalf, all right? And they also got, they got DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett with hamstrings. So they're 2 stud wide receivers, okay, what I'm going to go over in a few moments here, right? They're both questionable. I would highly doubt if they didn't play. I mean, I would be shocked if they didn't play. But Phil Haynes with a concussion, he's a guard, he's questionable. Poona Ford, ankle, he's a defensive end, he's questionable. Darrell Taylor, a groin, he's an outside linebacker, he's questionable. Gabe Jackson, he's another guard. So they got 2 guards who are questionable. He's got a problem with the hip and the knee, right? And then Sidney Jones, the 4th. He's questionable. He's a cornerback with his groin. Okay, so they got some injuries. All right, but if we look here, we go to what's it called? Man Games Lost. All right, you got to pay a yearly subscription for this, but what we got here? We got the number. We got like Joe Frazier. Going back to my time, we got Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. Or Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, or what do we got? Micah. I love what you do, Gridiron. Thank you. Good to see you back out here on these YouTube streets. Go Blue. You got that right, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the comment. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. But if we go here, the Man's Games Lost, we got like, the 2 heavyweights of the world banging heads, going toe-to-toe against each other, okay? Why? Well, because mangameslost.com, okay? Seattle Seahawks are number one. There's actually a team out there who's lost more man games due to injuries and all than the Giants, and that would be the Seahawks. The Seahawks have lost 110 games, man games, for injuries, 110. The Giants have lost 104. So Seattle is number one, 110. Okay, and the Giants are number two with 104. Could you imagine? The Saints are number three. They've lost 100. Okay, but could you imagine? Seattle's 4-3. I'll tell you what, they lost Russell Wilson, and they're freaking 4-3. That's impressive. I'm impressed. I am really impressed with that. I mean, I'm impressed with the Giants. Don't get me wrong, but 4-3 for the Seahawks, very impressive. Not only that, but I mean, they lead the league in most games lost due to injury. Now, could you imagine if they were like down at the bottom, like the Eagles are? One of the biggest reasons why the Eagles are 6-0. The Eagles are number 31. The Eagles have only lost 38 games due to injuries. 38. Wonder why they're 6-0. Because they have nobody injured. But can you imagine like the Seahawks and the Giants didn't have so many injuries? I mean, how much of a better team they could possibly be? But so you got to give both teams a lot of credit, right? What Carroll's doing, coach of the Seahawks with Geno Smith as the starting quarterback. They're 4-3. He's doing a very, very good job out there. And needless to say, so is Coach Dable with the Giants, 6-1, right? All these injuries we got, and we're 6-1. Fantastic. You got two thumbs up to both those guys. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay. Now we got Daniel Bellinger, right? Undergoes successful eye surgery, right? New York Giants and Daniel Bellinger underwent successful surgery to repair fractures of his lower eye socket and damage to his septum. Wow. According to Jeremy Feller of ESPN. Underwent a successful surgery to correct fractures on a lower window of his eye socket and damage to his septum, per source. Players hopes to return in 2 to 4 weeks, but separate source says 4 to 6 weeks could be more reasonable, depending on healing. So if we say 4 weeks, just say 4 weeks, okay? This was week 1, okay? Bye week is week 2. Then we got the Houston Texans. Then we got the Detroit Lions. So if it's 4 weeks, he's coming back for the Detroit Lions. If it's week 5, which would really be helpful, I mean, to get him back by then, it would be against the Dallas Cowboys, Thanksgiving. Okay, so, if we can get him back 4 to 5 weeks, that would be huge, because you figure 4 or 5, because you figure one of those weeks in there is a bye week, right? So there's no games to be missed there. So now the thing is it's like, can Myrick and Hudson pick up the slack? Right? I mean, says he's caught 16 of 18 pass targets this year for 152 yards and touchdowns, and has that 2-yard rushing touchdown as well, too. Right? So I'm saying, so that was one of the things, right? Decent at blocking. I mean, he'll get better as time goes. If he gets bigger, gets a little stronger, works at his craft and all, you can always get better at blocking. Absolutely. But one thing coming out of college, okay, which was very good. I mean, obviously, because he went to San Diego State where they run the ball a lot, so you're not going to catch a boatload of passes. But one thing it was, you heard from him, okay, or heard about him, was that he was very good at catching the ball. He has 18 targets, 16 passes, 16 receptions, 16 out of 18, 8 out of 9, caught passes. That's very, very good. And, I don't know what the 2 targets were that were, does that mean he dropped any passes? I'm not exactly sure. Some of the targets could have been over his head. I mean, who knows? I don't remember exactly what balls he didn't catch, but 16 out of 18, very, very impressive. Okay. Now, the one thing we got, all right. Okay. Is the Giants just shuffling the roster a little bit ahead of Sunday's game. Okay. Giants placed left guard Ben Bredeson on injured reserve Saturday. Okay, and activated. And hopefully this guy can stay healthy. Activated Ellerson Smith from the injured reserve as part of the setting the active roster for Sunday's game against the Seahawks. Now he'll be on a pitch count. Okay, but it'd be so nice to get him in there, get another edge rusher in there. I'm not saying we're going to have the greatest edge rushers in football. Okay. But I mean, if we got, we got Jihad Ward, maybe Toman Fox, you got Azeez Ojulari, you got Ellison Smith, we got Quincy Roche might be on the practice squad. Of course, we got Kayvon, what I mean? So, we have some nice edge rushers. Okay. We got, some little depth, but it'd be nice to get Ellison Smith on the field, get him some snaps. Hopefully, as I said, once again, he can stay healthy. And hopefully as time goes by, he starts getting a little bit better and a little bit better. But it's nice to see they activated him because he's had nothing but injury problems in the 2 years he's been with the Giants. Now we got Bredeson and rookie tackle Evan Neal both suffered injuries in the first half of the Giants win over the Jaguars. Both players are expected to miss extended time. Rookie Joshua Ezeudu filled in for Bredeson, and third-year veteran tackle Darnay Phillips filled out for Neal against the Jaguars and expected to start Sunday against both of them expected to start against Seattle. Now, the thing is, okay, right tackle, okay, and left guard, okay, those are both two spots that Nick Gates played in, all right? He started for the Giants however many years ago it was, 2018. He when he was playing right tackle, okay? That's what Evan Neal plays, all right? So it'll be interesting to see if they sneak him in there for like maybe a series at right tackle, maybe a series at left guard. Because when he got hurt last year against the Washington football team, he was bull rushed. He was taking Shane Lemieux's spot at left guard, okay? So left guard, right tackle, both two spots that Nick Gates has played. So it'll be interesting to see if they get him in the game, okay, and where they want to put him, okay? As I said, maybe a drive at the left guard, maybe a drive at the right tackle. Be interesting to say because you just don't want him standing on the sideline. Get him in there, get him a little accoladed, okay? Because say somebody else gets hurt, okay? Say Tyree gets hurt. I mean, I hope nobody gets hurt, but say Tyree gets hurt, all right, and they might want to put maybe Gates in, okay? He's been off for over a year, and you're going to throw him in there and have him play 60 snaps on it. I mean, you're asking a bit much there. So he'll be on a pitch count, but it'd be interesting to see how much they get him in there. Right. And we got, okay, the Giants have elevated two players from practice squad for Sunday's game. Good old Landon Collins, okay, will be activated for the second straight game. Played 23 snaps in his official start in his second stint with the Giants. He had the one tackle. All right. The longtime safety is being used as an inside linebacker by defensive coordinator Wink Martindale. Tight end Lawrence Cager, okay, was also called up from the practice squad as the team prepares to play its first game of the season without Daniel Bellinger. Okay. Now we got Hudson and Myrick. Okay, the pair is combined for 8 catches for 72 yards. Okay, and Myrick's also scored a touchdown too, right? So that's what we got. We got 8 catches for 72 yards between the two. So you figure with Cager in there, we got 3 tight ends who have a grand total of 8 catches on the season. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. But if we look here, all right. Now the Giants are 6-1. Okay. You can look at it, look at this as a positive, or you can look at it as a negative. All right. We played 7 games so far. Okay. Played 7. We still do not have a wide receiver that has 200 yards receiving. Now I said, you can look at that as, we have a receiver has like no receiving yards, right? And we're still 6-1. You can look at that really good, or you can look at that as like, ooh, that's pretty bad. Okay. Because one of these days it might, it just might come back to bite us. I mean, if there's a time, where we're down, whatever, 28-10 with 9 minutes to go in the game, we have to score 3 touchdowns or something, whatever. You know what I mean? It's kind of tough to establish the run. All right. The Giants have Saquon's got 180 yards. Richie James got 191. Bellinger, who's in there, is 152. Sterling Shepard, who isn't there, is 154. Darius Slayton has 166. And the only other receiver is David Sills, who has 101 yards. So we have 4 guys on the active roster right now. We're playing tomorrow. 4 guys that only have a little over, have over 100 yards receiving and do not have 200 yards receiving. Unlike the Seahawks, okay, they got one guy 194. Who's that guy? What's it? Is it 194? Yes, it is. Will Disley, tight end. He has 194 yards. They have a Noah Fant, too. Noah Font, whatever part of the country you're from, right? They both apparently, I guess they start two tight ends. I don't know. They said that both those tight ends have played 7 games and started 7 games. So unless maybe one of them starts on special team, I'm not sure. But both guys, Disley has 194 receiving yards. Noah Fant has 157. They also have Parkinson, who has 154 receiving yards. Marcus Goodwin has 146. Okay. But they got 2 guys, obviously Lockett and Metcalf, who have over 400 yards receiving. Okay. They have those 2 guys are basically on par pretty much for 1,000-yard season. We have like a bunch of guys who are on par for like 400 yards receiving seasons. Okay. So, I mean, but both those guys are dinged up. Now, how much that's going to affect them, we'll have to wind up waiting and see. But still, if they're both on the field, right, Lockett is, sneaky good, really good. Okay. And Metcalf's just a freaking beast. Now, as I said, with their injuries, hopefully they'll slow them down a little bit. All right. Now, they also have kind of like Kenneth Walker. All right. Good running. That was a very good draft pick. Very, very good draft pick. Okay. I don't think you can go wrong with him. He leads their team with 410 yards rushing. 6.1 yard average. Now, the thing is here, right? Then they got Rashad Penny. Okay. He has 346 yards rushing. Okay. They're like a 2-headed monster. He's averaging 6.1 yards a carry. Okay. Then you got Geno Smith, very smart, very good with the ball. He only has three interceptions, 11 touchdown passes. He has 132 rushing yards, 4.4 yards per carry. All right. Then they got DJ Dallas. He's another running back, 5.1 yards a carry. Travis Homer. He only has 18 yards, but he's 4.5 yards a carry. Okay. I mean, so, they're averaging when they run. All right. Okay. They run well. All right. And the Giants do not, both teams stink defensively. Okay. Against the run. I'm going to go over this in a second. Okay. But, so they got the 2-headed monster. The Giants are going to have to really keep an eye out on. All right. Don't want to get burned by these guys. If they're going to catch their catches, let them get their catches. Tackle them. Don't let them take off for a touchdown. Can't get no 74-yard touchdown bombs or nothing like that. They're going to run the ball. They're probably going to be successful because the Giants have a hard time stopping the run. Okay, but make it a long drive. Okay, it's going to be the same thing as it always was. You can't beat yourself with stupid penalties. Hopefully the refs actually call a good game this week, unlike what they did last week with those bullshit calls that they called against the Giants. But also the Giants have to be very careful, with the turnovers. It's going to be loud in there. They got the 12th man. It's a tough place to play, period. Don't matter what the records are. Tough place to hear, tough place to play. You can't give them the game. You can't have 3 or 4 turnovers. The Giants don't beat themselves with penalties. Don't beat themselves with turnovers. They'll certainly have a good chance of winning this football game. That's for sure. Okay. Now, I said like the Giants, the Giants got there too. I mean, actually, between Barkley and Jones, they have, almost 1,100 yards rushing between the 2 guys. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. Okay. Saquon's averaging 5.1 yards a carry. Daniel Jones, 5.9. Okay. So the Giants are doing a very good job running the ball. And they're doing a very good job of protecting the ball. Not a lot of turnovers. Very smart. Okay. Very good. But I said, they can't get into a game where, it winds up being into a shootout because the Giants are just going to straight up lose because they don't have anybody to throw the ball to. I mean, if we need a first down or something like that, I mean, maybe they can go deep to Darius Slayton, but I mean, he's not the guy who's going to catch 12 balls in a game for you. All right. They have a good secondary. Okay. And, I'm sure they can limit Darius Slayton. All right, if they really, really wanted to. Don't mean they're going to shut him out, but if this goes into a shootout, the Giants are going to lose. Okay, because they can't throw the ball. They can, but they can't. If you know what I mean. It's not going to walk up and down the field completing one pass after the other. I mean, it's just not going to happen. Right, so they have to. The defense has to keep them in the game. They have to play smart football. Maybe we can get a turnover too, which would be freaking huge. That would be huge, okay, for the Giants. All right. Now, we got here? Okay. Now, the team, the Giants are what? Giants average 334 yards a game. Seahawks 362. Okay, so nothing super spectacular there. All right, but rushing. All right, let's see here. Where we got here? All right, where we got here? All right, Giants are third. Giants have 1,214 rushing yards. But the Seahawks are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Seahawks are 8. They had 959. Okay, the Seahawks average 137 yards a game. Giants 173. Now, the Giants got the edge there, okay? But, however, as we see here with the defense, all right, rushing yards a game. Oh, went the wrong way. Rushing yards a game. The Giants and the Seahawks are 4th and 5th. Seahawks give up 149 yards a game, defensive-wise, okay? They both given up about the same amount of yards. Seahawks are giving up 1,048 yards on the ground. Giants, 1,011, right? What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's only 4 teams in the NFL that have given up more than 1,000 yards rushing, okay, for week 7. And one of them's Seahawks, the other one's the Giants. Okay, so 2 out of the 4. So we got bad run defensive teams here. Okay, a lot of it has to do with our inside linebackers. Okay, not being able to fill the gaps, not being able to shed. Tate Crowder is very good and is good. He can make tackles and all, but sometimes he can get washed away with a good block. He's not good at shedding blocks. All right, so we have a hard time filling the holes. All right, so we got to need to set the edge, right? So it's going to be, both teams probably going to be able to run the ball, all right, and which is what the Giants kind of might want, all right, especially if it's a close game, the Giants want to try to control the clock, pass when they have to, right? Maybe get Wan'Dale Robinson some more touches, with the ball and all. But the Giants want to keep it, hopefully a close game and be able to run the ball, right? Let's see. So, both teams, just very bad at their run defense. Now, pass defense here. The Giants, 211 yards a game. Okay, they give up on defense. I know the Seahawks are worse. Seahawks are 249. Okay, so the let's see, yards per game defense. Seahawks get more yards per game on offense than the Giants do. However, the Seahawks give up more yards. The Seahawks, they're 4th worst, 399 yards a game they give up. Okay, so they've given up almost 400 yards a game on average. That's really bad. Okay, the Giants ain't a whole lot better. They're 355 yards a game. Okay, not too bad. But you still obviously would like it to be better. But the Seahawks score points, as I'm going to point out here in a second, unlike the Giants. Okay, the Giants have scored. What have the Giants scored here? Let's go back here to the beginning. Giants got 21 points. 21, 19, 16, 20, 27, 24, and 23. Okay. All right. So 27 was the high for the Giants. We scored 27 against the Packers, obviously. Okay. Well, the Seahawks have eclipsed 27 points 3 times. Okay. They just beat the Broncos in week 1. Then the 49ers just shut. They only scored 7 points. But since then, they scored 23 points against the Falcons. But they gave up 27 and they lost, okay? But then the following week, they gave up 45 points, but they scored 48, okay? The Lions do not have a good defense. The next week, they lost because they gave up 39 points to the Saints, but they still scored 32, okay? Then they beat the Cardinals in a tough one, 19-9. Then last week against the Chargers, they won 37-23. So once again, they gave up some points. But, you look at it. Against the 49ers, they gave up 27 points. At home to the Falcons, they gave up 27 points, okay? Then at home to the Cardinals, they only gave up 9. So they've given up points. A lot of them, they've been on the road, though, too. They gave up 27 points on the road to the 49ers. They've given up 45 to the Lions on the road. They gave up 39 to the Saints on the road. They gave up 23 on the road to the Chargers, okay? But regardless, they give up yards. They give up points, okay? So, but they can score points as well, too. All right, so it's going to be a very, very, it'll be, once again, it'll be a tough game regardless, all right? Wow, it's been 40 minutes, guys. What do we got? Raphael, if we lose 6-2 before the bye, it's not bad because I hope we win. Oh, me too, brother. But you know what? If you go to any Giants fan and say, you know what? We're going to play 8 games this year. Then the 9th week is the bye week, right? And I'll tell you what. After 8 weeks, we're going to be 6-2. Every Giant fan's jumping on the train for that, right? I mean, nobody's going, oh, man, we ain't going to be 7-1. Come on. This sucks. We blow. Nobody's going to say that. You said after 8 games, we're going to be 6-2. Everybody's on board the Giant train, jumping on that Giant train. Absolutely. So you're absolutely right. All right. Absolutely right. 6-2. And then after we come back from the bye, hopefully we get a couple guys back. We got 2 home games against winnable teams, the Texans and the Lions. If we lose this one, we got to make sure if we lose this, the Seahawks beat the Giants. The Giants can't beat the Giants. The Seahawks win, whatever the score is, 27-20, whatever. You tip your cap, go over, shake hands. Great job, guys. Way to play. Good job. Right? It is what it is. They have to beat you. You can't beat yourself. But, I mean, 6-2. Are you freaking kidding me? Holy cow. Oh, man. Oh, man, I was kind of hoping they'd be like 4-4. Really, I mean, after the past couple of years and all that, we had an easy schedule. Man, if we go 4-4 and win maybe a couple more games, 6, maybe gets 8 wins or something in the second, we got like maybe go 4-5 in the second half or something like that. We win like 8 games after what happened last year. Hell yeah. But I mean, 6-2, whew, absolutely. Oh yeah. And I said, then if those 2 games, we get some guys back, we're at home against the Texans who stink and the Lions who stink. Don't get me wrong. Any given Sunday, any team can win. Don't get me wrong. Giants could certainly lose both those games, right? But if we win both, we're 8-2. I'm not saying we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying we're going to catch the Eagles or whatever like that and win a division. But 8-2, we should be making the playoffs. And I'll tell you what, if you told any Giant fan at the beginning of the season, we're making the playoffs, every Giant fan's jumping on that train too, right? So, right. But what I'm going to do here, okay, I'm keeping up with tradition here. Bill Parcells is a traditional kind of guy. Once he got that first Gatorade bath, the rest of the season, anytime they won, he had to get the Gatorade bath. Very superstitious, right? So what I did, I went against the Giants against the Titans. I went against the Giants against the Packers. I went against the Giants against the Ravens. I went against the Giants last week against Jacksonville. So I'm going to keep up with the tradition. So my prediction is a close game, okay? Giants lose 27-20 to the Seattle Seahawks, right? I'm just keeping up with tradition, right? And I've been wrong all those other times, so hopefully once again I'm wrong this week. I don't want to buck tradition here, right? Seattle Seahawks win 27-20. Well, guys, it's been 43 minutes. Shoot my freaking mouth off that long. Anybody, guys. Thank you, guys. Micah and Raphael. Thank you so much for the comments. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. You guys are the best. As always, guys, anybody watched any of this, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys absolutely rock. Or anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, thank you so much. You guys are the absolute best. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.